Yeah, g'day and welcome to Scarving in the Atlas. And there has been an update, the Farmhouse update for Atlas, and it's introduced a number of things. One of the first things that happened when I logged in to check out the farmhouse is we get this ghostly icon talking from our compass, which is where you get your power stones and all the rest of it. And it's giving you an introductory talk about the game. You know, when you log into the game, what do you do? How do you harvest materials? What should you be trying to do? So going and talking to the guy at the shipman and find out, you know, what he needs to build a ship and all the rest of it. And a few other things, like the fact that there's power stones and a bunch of other things. And what it is, they've basically got a little intro to the game to tell you, when you first log in, how you actually play Atlas. What is it you're actually trying to do? What things can you do? And that's pretty cool. So, the other thing that was introduced into the latest patch was the farmhouse. And so here we can actually see both the stone and the wooden farmhouse. You basically build it in the smithy, and when you're trying to learn it, you're actually going to be looking under the mercantile construction path all the way down at the esotery of building, and basically it's there at the bottom right hand side. And so we end up with the farmhouses. So I'm going to build a couple of those and put them down. So this one is the wooden farmhouse, and it's a bit hard to see. Maybe if we jump into K mode, you can see that there's a circle, which is the radius of the farmhouse. And so that's an important part of what you need to consider when you're placing this, because when you put stuff inside that radius, it actually affects the efficiency of the farmhouse. And so I'm going to put this down, and I want it to overlap a bunch of trees, a bunch of things on the ground, and a bunch of rocks on the shore. Done. And supposedly it's powered by wood and stuff, so we should probably go and get some wood. Luckily we got some nearby, and we'll chuck it on there. Wood and some thatch, and it's already started farming as soon as you put it in. Alright, so outdoor efficiency 1.0, and I'm guessing that if you don't have if you put buildings within that zone, then I'm guessing that that outdoor efficiency will drop. And so what's going on is it's burning the fuel, so the wood is actually being used to cook as such inside the inventory of the farmhouse. But it's picking up materials of all the things nearby. And it's a bit hard to see there, but the thatch actually did go down, and I believe it went back up again. So currently 58. 57, jumped up to 65, and the wood went up as well. So once you've got it kicked off, if you've got resources within the radius, it's going to bring them in, and so it's actually harvesting the resources in the local area within that radius, and it's pulling it into the farmhouse. And so that's pretty cool. I don't know whether I feel that it's the correct thing to do. I wonder if you can actually choose to show the radius. No. Oh well, that's unfortunate. But the radius was quite small, so let's have a look at the difference between it and the stone one. Oh. I didn't think I was that close. So you can see the wooden one that I've placed over there, and now here is where I can place my stone one. There's actually not much in the area, so we might move around to where it's actually going to be effective. We've got a lot more wood, a lot more stone, a lot more thatch and things on the ground. We'll go and grab some wood to kick it off. Come on, let me... Here we go. And it's already starting to farm. So you only need to put wood or thatch in there, it doesn't really matter which. You just need something as if you're burning something, and it started. I mean, it's a strange mechanic. It's obviously to stop people from having to worry about farming materials while they're off sailing the seas. So this does it automatically for you. You come back and it's just got a whole pile of materials, and it's nice. I don't think it's 100% necessary, But for those people who I guess prefer sailing and not farming up resources, you can basically take these things around. I'm thinking here from even a single player perspective, alright? So you could set up mini bases around the place, take a farmhouse with you, plonk it down, and it just starts farming resources. You go off and find another island, plonk another one down, and do the same thing. And so it means that you can do a sailing trip, do your ships of the damned, and as you're sailing around getting treasure from your ships of the damned, you then visit islands where you pick up resources, load up your galleon, and you just basically do circuits where you can pick up your resources to build better and better things, farm up resources by fighting stronger and stronger enemies, and do treasure hunting. And in the meantime, these things are collecting the resources that you need to then craft the blueprints that you collect along the way. Certainly an interesting concept. Alright, well, it's only been a quicker look at the latest patch that's been thrown out there. It's certainly an interesting one. I don't mind it. I initially thought that it was a silly idea, but having put it into practice, particularly it means that when you're doing your base building and when you're doing all the kinds of things in the background, you can set something up and just have it get your resources for you, and you can focus on the game. Now, if you find the crafting side of things interesting without the grinding of resources, this is probably a game changer, because you can have that working for you while you sail around and have a bit of fun. You come back and it's all ready for you and you can just start crafting away. But if you like that whole exploration and resource gathering, it's probably not the thing for you, because, you know, you can get the creatures and you can get the creatures to do the harvesting for you. Or, you know, you can modify settings so that the harvesting rates are different. For me, in my side of things, the way I see it is that I can turn my resource harvesting down. So rather than having these really high resource gathering rates, I can now have a low gathering rate. And I can plonk one of these down and it will do the things for me while I'm doing other things. And to me, that's actually nice. I don't mind it. I mean, either or. Whether you love or hate it, it's a new feature that they've thrown into it. And what I really like about the fact that they've implemented this, amongst other things, is we're seeing a lot of love to the Atlas game from the developers, and we need to see more of it, and they're certainly doing it. And so hopefully, eventually, even with this like little intro thing, I mean, it's pretty critical. The fact that a new player can come in and get an intro to the game itself and see how to play the game. It was just never there before. You just got thrown in and you work it out for yourself, right? Now you've got a little intro blurb just to tell you, here's what you're doing, here's how you start off, and here's some of the things you can work towards. And that's really, really good. And so it's moving it towards that polished game. I mean, this is still early access, so it's not actually the first 0-day release at the moment. We're still talking a game in development. And this seems like they're putting finally in some of the features that will take it towards that end game. And hopefully, we'll finally see this game be what it needs to be. But, I'll have to wait and see more from the developers. Anyway, thanks for watching once again from Cigar Bikini Atlas, and I'll catch you in the next one.